Hello. Have I watched Severance season 2 yet? There's only one episode that's out. I'm not an awesome movie press reporter, so I can't see any more than that. Is Severance not some capitalism is bad analogy? I don't think so. I think it walks the edge of maybe almost going that way, but I don't feel like it fell into that trap. We'll see in season 2. You know, the rumor is it took so long to make season 2 because they were arguing about the show. So maybe one of them wanted to make it capitalism is bad and the other person prevented it. Or maybe the opposite happened. Episode was a bit slow. Yeah, I mean, it was not a great episode, but like they just had to do a lot to get back to a place where they can do episodes, right? So I'm giving them a little bit of slack. You know, it's that thing where a lot of the episode is spent explaining things you already know if you've seen the show. So, you know, hopefully now that they're past that, it'll be good, but we'll see. Piling up problems with no closure in sight. No, I don't think so. I think it's the opposite. I think they actually kind of know what the problem with Lost, for example, is they kept adding all these mysteries and they didn't know what they were, and it eventually just fell apart because they never could answer questions satisfactorily without it being a letdown because they never knew in the first place, right? With this show, I think they at least kind of knew in the first season what the backstory was. You can tell. You can just tell, like, a lot of the details around the show are more coherent than they would have otherwise been if they were just being weird or whatever. Like, for example, the baby goat thing is hinted at since maybe even the first episode or the second. I forget which one. But, like everything is very coherent and consistent. I gotta get the tea. The baby goats were an internal writer joke and the audience liked it. I think it's pretty obvious there's more to it than that. I mean, things can, like, you got to understand creative processes, all right? Like, ideas have to come to you somehow. And they can be not that connected initially, but then you solve for it. Like, that's part of what it is to make things. That doesn't bother me at all. But maybe it's just because I've done a bunch of that myself, so I know. Did I watch Silo? Yes, that show is so fucking terrible, but I just forced myself to watch it because I didn't have anything else to do. It does kind of reset my brain to like watch shows and stuff when I've been doing too much output. But season 2 of Silo is so bad. It's so bad. I got to the point where I was just skipping through all the scenes down in Mechanical with like the feisty rebellion people. Just like, look, you know what's going to happen. You knew what was going to happen for the entire goddamn season. And then you get to the last episode, and that's exactly what happens. And it's like, guys, you could have just skipped the whole season. Literally nothing happened except what we knew was going to happen from episode 1. It's such a waste of time and so terrible. Okay. So, I was going to start, we've just got some requests. Remind me to pour my tea in pretty soon because I put a lot of leaves in there. I'm down to the last golden monkey that I maybe didn't like that much, and it's pretty old, so I probably need to get new golden monkey now. But I put more leaves in to see if I like it better. But that also means it could get strong really fast. Anyway, so we've got submissions from people about tweaks to make to modules and stuff. So we're going to look through that. Quit your job today in AAA slop sweatshop. Congratulations. What flavor of AAA slop was it that now they will have to do without you? All right. Dude, my mailbox is full of people who want to get in the beta. I just have to kind of ignore most of them right now. I can't even deal with it. It's because there have been popular streamers and stuff doing this, and like, yeah, okay. So let's start with some simple ones. Okay, this looks really stupid. Crashes are the highest priority. So theoretically, this will just report an error and then crash the compiler. So let's fix that. Usually these are just like dumb oversights in type checking or something. Oh, let's make sure our compiler is a recent version. You broke down after a week? Wait, you joined... Are you telling me you joined a AAA studio a week ago and quit today? Is that accurate? I dropped into Prime Stream yesterday or whenever, and he was having a terrible time because he was like fasting, so his brain didn't work. So like, I was just like, the best, because I recognized like he exactly had this mood and this look that I've had many times. When you're tired and your brain isn't working and you're like, I'm trying to figure this out. I've been there, and I was like, all right, I get it. Yeah, I just poured some of the tea and it wasn't good yet, so we're going to give it a little more time. Made a prototype this week and played for 4 hours, even though it's janky as hell. Well, congratulations. Anything you can play for 4 hours is great. That's a great place to be. If it holds your interest for that long. Do I handpick every person who gets beta access? Mostly, yeah. Do I still reside in San Francisco? No, I got the hell out of there several years ago. That place, you can't live in San Francisco and have self-esteem anymore. So I long ago left. Now there is a new mayor, and some of the supervisors got replaced with people who might not be idiots, but I feel like it's still not going to be enough to turn it around because the mayor in San Francisco doesn't really have that much power anyway. I think it has to keep going downhill for another 10 years before it's worth moving back to. Do I plan on letting exists in macros see backticked variables? What? Does that not work already? I don't remember how I implemented exists. Actually, I could see that not working. Just submit that and we'll take a look. Submit it to the bug report. Must suck seeing my home slowly destroyed like that. Yeah. Yeah, it does. People giving him wrong information wasn't helping. Yeah, I was in there when people were saying, use insert inside the macro. And I was like, no, don't do it. Yeah, bullet dodged. You don't want to go to San Francisco now. I mean, some young kids who post on Twitter all the time seem to think it's the place to be. And I don't get, I mean, here's the thing. I lived in San Francisco through basically two so-called tech golden ages. I was there for the original .com bubble. And I was there again the whole time from, let's say, 2010 to 2019, which was like a slower bubble, but was certainly, in hindsight, another big technology bubble, right? And like, why do you supposedly want to be there? I don't know, to be like around other technology people or whatever, but like, it's just full of web programmers who are bad programmers. Like that's all who's in San Francisco mostly, right? I mean, if you have very specialized social circles, you can know other people, but that's mostly it. And that's morphing now into like, okay, so now OpenAI and all these other companies are hiring a lot of people. But most of the low-level people at those companies are basically script kiddies who do data mining for LLMs, right? And so it's just not that interesting who you meet there, I don't think. Like the number of people I ever organically met in San Francisco who were like interesting to talk to for technical reasons, like I could count on one hand. Now, I think if you're like a CEO of a bigger company and you just move in different circles, then that becomes more interesting. But I never did that. So I don't know. It just didn't seem worth it to me. Also, there's no women. There didn't used to be any women. Now there's kind of some. But they've all got the California women problem disease. So yeah. All right. So we have reproduced the crash. That's great. Expected. Okay. This is a pretty straightforward. All right. Yeah, no, I absolutely would not raise kids in San Francisco. No. No, there is no part of the city anymore where I would do that. How about Marin County? I mean, Marin County is probably better, but it's way too expensive for what you get at this point, unless you go really far out. And just there's no infrastructure there whatsoever. So there's like traffic jams all the time, and I don't know. And you're subject to all these bad things about California, right? Like why would you do that to yourself? Got to remove all these old breakpoints. Okay, so we called copy load info, copy location info. Run is null. Okay, so let's just put some conditionals in those. You know, this is where people who really like tag unions would be like, you should have an optional type and that's fine. Whoops. Build. Syntax error in if. What happened? All right. Really? Still? Oh, we're crashing somewhere else now. Okay. So when I wrote this code, I guess I didn't... Wait, module param? What? Oh no, this is if we get down to the bottom. So probably run is in here. No? Oh, yeah. Let's just do it this way. I was debating because I started doing it this way, and then when I looked at that other piece of code, I was like, wait, it's checking reported parse error. So let's just do it that way. All right. So great. This is fixed in the next beta. All right. One day old bug report. Let's put that in here. Fixed a crash in the parser when just when I think about things to document, I'm putting them at the top. Is there anyone who's in the beta? Is there a doc file just for run? Like, I was looking through the other day and I didn't really see it. Let's see, calling procedures, looping, if, using this, scopes, static if, polymorphism. Like, I know we use run like as a stealthy thing, but then we get up here and we do like workspaces, right? I feel like we just skip talking about run directives. Or is there one? Am I missing anything? Did Ryan Fleury affect my move to Boulder in any way? No, I didn't know he was from here. I mean, he probably lives in Seattle, right? Because he worked at RAD and RAD makes everybody move. How to 100. Yeah, so this is like advanced even. So we should talk about run before 100. It should be like 99. Because 100 is talking about like, oh, the run only runs once inside the polymorphic procedure or whatever, right? But if you've never seen run before, it's like, seven. Yeah, I know it's mentioned that early, but it does. I think it says like, we'll come back to this later, right? Like I like to do little hooks. Yeah, run will be covered later. Yeah. So I don't think we have an official like, here's everything about run. So that would be a good doc to do later this weekend. I'm doing a podcast tomorrow morning, but some other time. Some other time. All right. We got to check this in. Fix a crashed in the parser when run directives did not parse correctly. Just a little tiny, no big deal. Just a little crash. Just a little crash. What's in string? What did I change there? Oh, that's just a change to a comment. This comment still had this allocator argument in there, but we took it out of the function a long time ago. And I noticed that when I was documenting comma, chameleon. All right. Next email from a non-female, because there's literally, the beta's all dudes, pretty much. I mean, I don't exactly know, but it's pretty close to 100%, judging by people's names. Because that's who asks to get in, you know? It's a sad fact in my life. You'd bet it's 100%. Yeah, I wouldn't. What podcast? I forget the name. It's a relatively small one, but it was fine. He asked, and I was like, sure, let's just have an interesting conversation. Did I reunite with Milkshake? I last night I reunited with Milkshake. There was at least one girl in the beta. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. 1 out of 700 and whatever is a pretty good gender ratio. Right? Right. Okay. People keep complaining about import file, even though I swear I fucking explain exactly how it works. I don't know. Maybe I only did that in the changelog and not in a how-to. Okay. Circular dependency. Okay, so let's change this. So we have an issue here where this thing let me finish the edit and then I'll explain. Oh shoot. We can't just move it out of there like that because these things. You know what? Let's not do this for now. I'll think about it some more. But basically, someone reported that they can't have a hash table. You know, like when you have a type, you can have a pointer to a type inside that type and it's fine. In theory, You should be able to do that with a hash table or whatever also, but you can't right now because of implementation details about how the types are defined. And we probably should fix that, and it's just, I want to think slightly more about it. Support Unicode in X11. Why do people send me diffs, dude? I don't know how to use diffs. Also fix crashes. I mean, I do, but like, I'm just going to look at them manually. All right. So let's take a look at these. What are the diffs? Input X11. Oh my God, these are so big. Okay. I don't just want to like apply the patch, right? Like we've got quality control. So like this doesn't help because it's just the same thing. It's just literally the same thing. It's like a white space change. Why are you sending me patches that are just white space changes? Okay, here's one change. This is so frustrating. All right. KP delete. That's an actual, right? Does anyone else see anything here? Is there any actual change here? Oh, this one. Tab. I must have missed the fat fingering everything in the world. All right. It's like removing the or on all or. What? There are additional key codes. ISO left tab. Yeah. So we got that. We got this one. Okay, and then these are all KP. What does KP mean? Does anyone want to clue me in? I don't. Is it like kid power? It's the new thing instead of girl power now. Dude, I need a better Emacs theme. Okay. Is that for just numeric keypad? We should probably just make a hash table out of all this, honestly. Because at some point, it's a lot of if statements, right? But that day is not today. All right. XK home, XK end, KP home, KP end. It's so stupid to have two bindings for anything. All right. home end. Okay, well that XK insert, I guess we didn't have that. Add to X11 module. Okay. Okay. Wait, somehow we missed the... I'm very confused here. No, that is there. Okay. That was weird. All right. I mean, I'm probably going to make a mistake here, but it's fine. Because all these white space changes are confusing the issue. So like pause and scroll lock, it's literally just, I don't even know. I can't even tell the difference between these lines because there's not tabs in here. Like, why are we diffing these lines? What is even happening? Is there like some European invisible character? One space. I see. It was indented. Let's see. I mean, I can't say this indentation. Oh yeah, all these are like 5. Oh god. All right. Well, so the problem is I can't really fix this because my Emacs theme sucks at indenting. I'll do all the ifs first and then... Woohoo! This is how I spend my time, guys. Highly experienced programmer. Bottleneck on the compiler and the game and all business operations that we ever do. And what am I doing? I'm manually deleting a space in front of return. That's great. I mean, if I could get anyone fucking else to do these things, that would be great. But we keep hiring people and they keep, you know, not working out. Okay. Where were we? Like, it's very hard to hire somebody who remotely gives a shit about code quality. It's so annoying. All right. FE03. Okay. XK ISO level 3 shift. All right. That's not just any shift. It's a level 3 shift. Yeah, this should really be a hash table at this point, but we'll get the changes in. Meta L, meta R, super L, hyper L. Okay. Missed one or before the level 3 shift. That's true. That is true. All right. These are all indentations. Okay, FF61. This is XK print. Okay, FF67. XK menu. Like, why do we have all this? Why didn't we just put these in there? Like, why did we put these explicit codes in? Like, what? All right, gen ASCII LUT. So what's going on here? We took out this function completely. Maybe it's moved to elsewhere in the file, or maybe it's just gone. ASCII LUT. No, it's gone. So somebody wanted to make this at compile time for some reason. Even though you could have just generated some literals and had it be a table. It mapped menu to G. That's not... So this is basically doing what this LUT did. Yeah, there's no reason to do this instead of like 3 if statements. So yeah. All right. Again, this is like somebody using metaprogramming who should have been not doing that. Okay. So, like, why would you do that? I mean, if we do make a hash table, then we can put all these things in the hash table as well. But like, you might as well not. It's a couple if statements. You might as well not even do that. You might as well just put all this in the hash table and then just do these if statements. This is very sus and probably should be deleted, but we're not going to delete it right now. Okay. Well, a lot of what I'm roasting here isn't contributions from the diff. Like that thing we just deleted was like something that someone did a long time ago that we did. That might have even been ported from C++ code from the witness or something, for all I know. Like, those could have been old things. All right. So we have X. Oops, hold on. Let's fix this while we're here. X next event. Wait. Yeah. All right. Wow. Look how messed up this indentation. What is even happening here? Like, let's fix that first of all. All right. So we've got this X filter event. That's fine. Okay, this is big changes. So the key sim stuff, that goes keyboard, key pressed, key code, shift press. All right. So we're looking up the string for some stuff. This probably has to do with the Unicode support, right? All right. Okay, so let's try and understand what is going on. We look up the string. Do we have a key sim? Sure, we do all these things. This input button states goes away. This add to events this frame goes away, except it gets added back. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. I mean, I guess we'll delete that, but Wait. Oh, I see. We're setting these on shift, etc. themselves, which we didn't used to do. I guess that's fine. Okay, so this line just got moved down, is all that happened that I could see. I mean, I think we can just say this, right? See, we could have just applied the patch blindly, and maybe at this point I should have, but it's just like I want to know what's going on in the code base, right? So there's this shift pressed. Okay, so now I'm kind of confused. Oh yeah, so because we're closing the block here, which means we delete all this stuff. But like, this is really confusing because we must have missed something, because this is like closing our case block here, right? Or even worse, like, ugh. So this is where this method of doing things starts to suck. Like, that's the end of our if statement, which is obviously wrong. So like somebody opened a block up here. Oh, this is all in has keysim still. This isn't supposed to be here, right? That's closing has keysim, and then we have this. Dude, why is Emacs not good? All right. Okay, so if we have text, we're doing some text input stuff. And we need this. All right. Okay. Congratulations, that's that one file, maybe. Hopefully I didn't leave anything big out. Let's look here. This is going to define some of these things. Right, so we've got our input method, argsim and argsic. And then xmods UFO defense. All right, so you know what I could have done is I could have just applied the patches and then done a local diff in a GUI. That probably would be less error prone than what I'm doing right now. It's just I don't do this that often with changes. Usually when people send changes, they're smaller than this. So, all right, so we're going to review this now. This is all new code right here. So we're changing locale back to whatever it was. Why does everyone make this crap so complicated? Like, why do you need to do all this? Because X is from the 1980s. That's why. God, just delete it all. This is all of this code. I mean, I value the contribution, and I'm not saying this, but like, none of this should be necessary. This is all completely stupid. Okay? Unix has been UTF-8 since fucking forever. And if X11 was reasonable, they would just have a one line that you could call where they say, give me a UTF-8 locale. And the fact that they don't do this is a fact that is proof that everybody's a fucking asshole who doesn't care about anything. Doing all this gave you a brain tumor. Yeah. No, I mean, okay, whoops. We lost comments here somehow. How did I delete comment lines? Wait, there's no comments in the patch. What happened here? Did this... Oh, it's a string. I see. It's a string. Never mind. Again, highlighting would have helped me see that. Wait till I learn about Wayland. I mean, my impression is that Wayland is not really better than X11 at all. Right? Is that accurate? Okay, so we've got image BMP. Try the best we can to get the right input. Like, why? This is, okay. This is the problem when programmers are too compartmentalized, right? If you don't work at all levels of an operating system and work on applications and work on games and work on productivity software and work on compilers, if you just work on a Windows system, then you think that all these programmers out there want to write 5,000 lines of code just to interface with your Windows system. We don't. We just want to do the obvious thing that everybody wants to do, and you would know what that is if you wrote any other software besides making this shitty API for your Windows system, right? Like, this is all just beyond stupid. This is beyond stupid. Was I scared to give Prime the compiler? No. Why would I be scared to give him the compiler? I mean, here's the thing. You could always have somebody say, I don't like this. This language sucks. And then a lot of people would see that. But like, you have to do that with anything in life that's on the internet. Well, anything on the internet. Like, I was doing my control keys in the wrong order. Like, dude, I've released video games to millions of people, plenty of whom had shit to talk about how they know better than me, and if it were their game, it would be so much better, right? And it is what it is. Like, yes, that can happen, but if you're a man, you are not afraid of these things. You know, like the judgment of God is the judgment that counts, not the judgment of a bunch of randos on the internet who don't even know what's going on because they dropped into a stream for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Which is not, I mean, it's, if it goes well too, that's great also. But even when it, like if something like that goes really well, again, it could be of limited import. Like, you don't want to attach too much meaning to that. It just, if it's fortunate, that's great. You take that and you go with it. Hey, I remember that. Oh, look at all these XKs. Level 3 shift. This is all after ASCII tilde. Wait. Okay, I just know I'm going to make several syntax errors, but it's fine. Okay, hey, we're at the bottom. Okay, so we got our scope file. We got all these. This, I'm going to rewrite this. And the reason why is because in a module like POSIX that's really big, I just happen to know that this is not the most efficient thing. I mean, it's probably not a measurable difference in efficiency, but I'm just going to do this. Like when it's just like one thing out of a really big module, this is actually faster. Okay. I had 1kx in the other file. Yeah, we haven't tried to... Yes, xk, kp home. All right. Cool. Now we had one other file. Window creation. Hey, this one's small. Hey. Xset wum protocols. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So we're create IC. I don't know what an IC is. It's certainly not an integrated circuit. I don't know what that means. Input context. That's what that means. All right. So maybe we try to check this in because this machine, I tried to do a WSL on this machine on stream in December and it failed so badly that it's like, let's not even try. So we're just going to check it in and let the build machine tell me what I messed up. So we're just going to say modules input, modules x11, modules window creation. Modified handling to support more keys, numeric keypad, and for x11 to operate correctly under Unicode. Let's paste the name so I don't misspell it. Oops. Okay, so hopefully that's an accurate. Wait, is it capital W? We need to we need to do a redesign of input and window creation at some point. Maybe that'll start just by putting the hash table in input, right? That'll be great. All right. We're going to do this. All right. Build machine will probably come back with a complaint. Last line added should be inside the for. Really? Didn't look like it. Here? What? There's no for loop. There's no for loop. Older file. Okay, previous file was this file. There was no code in here, right? So dude said previous file you edited. This was the first file we edited. This one? Why, dude, it's so frustrating. Like, people in chat, they don't even bother to fucking type full sentences or punctuate them, and then they expect you to, like, read their mind when they tell you the wrong information. Like, I appreciate the help, but at the same time, holy fuck, you have no idea how frustrating it is. Saw some diff with libc. All right, let's check that out. Wasn't that one? Aha. It's literally one fucking function, but libc is something that everyone will link to anyway. Okay. So that is certainly going to get complained about. All right. The for loop at the bottom of the diff when you say the diff you were looking at, there's 3 different diffs. I'm popping back and I don't know what the diff you were looking at means. There's 3 different ones. Do you understand how this doesn't actually communicate? I mean, I guess it's this one since this is the long one. Okay, so maybe it's this line we're talking about? Oh. All right. Right. Yeah, that won't compile. That's for sure. All right. All right, build server is going to complain to us. You think it's the one file on your hard drive? Yes. All right, well, that was fun. Okay, another set. We could try. I don't have command line patch on this machine, I don't think. I mean, maybe Subversion will apply a diff or something, but I don't want to go searching for command line. These are smaller though. We'll just do these the same way. So these are some get rect modifications. Sub window close button gets... Okay, so here's the annoying thing. These are for left-handed, which I guess we've switched to by default, but I've been fixing things in parallel with right-handed get rect usually, but I kind of don't... want to do that here. All right. These look pretty small and tractable for sure. Now, left-handed is the default. Here is the thing. Among the many things I'm frustrated about in life is the following. The reason we did left-handed is because it just seemed like that would be better for people, because you usually lay things out from top of the screen to bottom, right? So that coordinate system probably seems better, even though it's not the one that I usually work in and stuff. So I made left-handed, and then I'm like, okay, we'll switch over, or maybe we'll even make it toggle left-handed, right-handed, like we do with simp. I didn't do that because it just looked like it would make the code a little messier and more confusing, and I didn't want to do that. But so, like, the plan was to rewrite everything, and, like, again, I fucking pay all these people to help, and then they don't do anything, and then I have to fire them, and I'm out of money, right? So, like... It's just so hard to get people even to help. Like, so then I end up, you know, doing all the grunt work, and there's more grunt work than I can personally do. And so we just haven't rewritten the stuff to not use right-handed get rect anymore. And so we have to keep it and kind of maintain it. And that's super frustrating. It's like, dude, have I not paid enough dues at this point? This is the insane thing. It's like, have I not paid enough dues at this point that I don't have to do this stuff anymore? And the answer is no, because nobody else will fucking do it, because no other programmers actually care about code quality that I can find in the whole universe. It's crazy. It's crazy. Clearly the solution is to just not pay them. Well, we did that in several of these cases that I'm thinking of. But, like, you know, you give people a job and then you say, hey, do this, and then they'll think it's beneath them or something. And I'm like, motherfucker, if you don't do it, I'm doing it. Like, why do you feel so entitled? All right. Can't I take the money back in some way, maybe legal? I've thought about it. There's one or two of these cases where I thought about suing the person because it was so egregious. And it's just not worth the time, because, I mean, usually in these couple of cases that I'm thinking of, the amount of money we wasted was on the order of $80,000 or maybe $100,000, which sounds like a lot, but, like, how much is a lawsuit going to cost, really? You know? And so it's best just to burn that bridge and move on, and then just give that person a bad reputation anytime anyone asks you about them. So, That's how it goes. You said that compiler get code was crashing for you in some cases. Apparently one of the latest betas fixed it. Okay, well that's great. I am happy to hear about that. All right. Get wrecked left-handed. Dude, all these like Twitter socialists and stuff who are like, employers unfairly mistreat everybody and it's evil late stage capitalism and whatever. You can tell that those people never had to deal with employees. I mean, don't get me wrong. The employees we have now are great. But you know, I'm certainly not complaining about all employees. The people we have now, they're doing a good job. I'm just saying, dude, I've had to put up with some ridiculous shit, including in 2024. There was like multiple complete ridiculous shit that was completely unacceptable. And like, it's just, when you're stretched really thin like I am, sometimes it just takes a little too long to notice these problems and attack them with extreme prejudice. But at this point, my prejudice is extreme in these cases. You know? All right. So this, we've moved the close button state. Now that I need to delete the other one, or we have a problem. See, this is the thing. Like, in theory, the code quality is going to be higher because I'm doing this. Like, okay. So one of the measures of code quality that I like is this idea of like binding energy, where you don't declare stuff a really long time before it gets used and whatever, because you want to bunch things by like relevancy for understanding. This is way too loose of binding energy for me. Right? It doesn't get assigned till down there, so it should get defined here. We don't actually generate metrics for this, but I want to. Why not hire people from the community for free? Because none of them can do the job. Why would I do that? That would be even more frustrating and a waste of time. You thought the money was much higher. I mean, you know, usually if you pay a programmer like $200,000 a year or something, and they do some work, then, you know, if it turns out after 8 months, this is sort of how I'm accounting it. If it turns out after 8 months, they actually only did like 1 month of work or less, or 2 weeks of work, then, you know, that's 7 months of money that got wasted. But, you know, that's around $100 and something thousand. It's frustrating. It's very, very, very frustrating. Small binding energy. Yes, small binding energy in this stream. Okay, so the other diff, because we're manually patching, was this one. Widgets text input. All right. 135. Backspace delete. Wait. What? Okay, hold on. This code has always been... Oh, this is like in the control handling. What do control backspace supposed to do? A word. It's a word deletion. All right. All right. I guess that's a convention that we didn't put in. Whoops. Dude, stop. All right. That's easy to understand. Okay, this looks like just a mistake. what is S here? S is the thing we're inserting. The insert, oh God, I wrote this code originally, but I don't remember it that well. So the insert point is where we want to put the text. This doesn't look right to me. Oh, wait. Okay, so I guess we added bytes at the end already. I hope. I don't see that happening here, but hopefully that happens somewhere. And then we're moving the data forward, right? This just fixes a crash when S is multi-byte. But do you see why alarm bells are going off for me? Because if S is not multi-byte, if S is just 1 byte. So by the way, don't we call this when you paste, right? And I know that doesn't crash, does it? But like, if we replace this with 1, see, that would change the meaning of the code also. Oh, it's greater than or equal to. That's where the 1 went. This would have had a +1. Wait, no, that's even worse. That's off by 1 more even. That's in the wrong direction. No, okay, hold on, no. This has the +1. So we get rid of the +1 by saying equal to. Paste is in another function, I see. Well, that's maybe bad. Like, why is paste not calling this? Like, what happens when we paste? Insert clipboard at cursor. We possibly replace, like, why would this not behave exactly the same as this anyway? Like, if you're going to paste with a certain cursor in selection state, isn't that exactly the same as if you type some text with a certain cursor in selection state? Like, why is this 2 different things? I mean, maybe this, but that should happen both times anyway. This just looks, I mean, I don't want to fix this right now, but we would at least write a very angry comment here. So this is sort of doing a fundamentally more expensive operation because we're doing a string join and then resetting the input, whereas here we're editing the buffer in place, right? But like, in principle, these should not be different, I don't think. No, I'm not suggesting inserting character by character. All right, anyway, okay, so I see why this is right, I guess. All right. So you're doing the same thing as insert text, but for some reason it's a whole different routine. Why? Did I get that right? Is it the 17th? Yeah. Okay. All right. Backspace from cursor. So this is adding the byword. Right, that should say false. And then delete from cursor as well. Okay, and then prev point is okay. This all makes sense. And then I'm pretty hungry now. Okay. So this byword is basically replacing this one right here. Okay, so I get that. I get that. Did we already have seek left one word? I guess we did, right? Seek left one word. Yep. All right. I've got so many windows. Let's just see how many fails we get there. And then we'll check the build machine and see if Linux is complaining. Let me do that now. Oh yeah, Linux is still complaining about all kinds of fails. That's great. Let's see. What are we complaining about here? Uh-oh. macOS is failing. Oh, wait, I screwed up hash table. Dude, okay, I meant to not check that in. I guess I saved it. All right. We have to, because we checked it in, we gotta do this. Yeah, I saved it, I guess, when I moved table entry and not. All right. Yes, we know. Let's try again. Let's try again. Initially wanted to completely rewrite X11 back into XCB plus EGL. I don't know what those are. But then a client and video employee explained that this doesn't have as good of a support by their GPUs. What? Yeah, I don't even know what XCB. Is that a callback thing? EGL? I don't know what the hell that is. Like anytime there's acronyms, my brain shuts off at this point. All right, well, that looked like it was an Emacs turd. Yeah. For some reason, Emacs decides to make new Emacs turds sometimes, and it breaks everything, and I don't know why, because it usually doesn't make them. But sometimes it does. Yeah, it's complaining about these turd files. And it makes two kinds of turd files. One that goes .hash and another that goes hash. Yeah, that's all that was. All right. Oops. All right. So we may still have Linux problems. Let's see. All right. Get wrecked. Left-handed. Support. Control backspace delete to delete by word. Let's go look at the email again. Fixed a bug in sub window close handling. Fix crash in text input when deleting a multi-byte character from the beginning of a line. All right. All right. Dude, we've already got a little bit of a changelog going. It's amazing. It's amazing. Did my camera freeze? I don't think it did. Another patch for Dropdown. Okay, I'll look for it. We might as well do all of these at the same time. Yeah, I got through the other day a giant wave of emails from people, and now there's another giant wave of emails. I need one of these much vaunted AI assistants to just reject all the emails. Search for Dropdown. Maybe that'll help. Small fixes in Dropdown widget. Okay, got it. That's from 2 weeks ago. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Not too bad compared to the sizes of what we've been doing. Okay, so let's just preemptively add these here. Drop down. Returns the correct value on the frame when it gets changed. Is that a good description? Or what's a good description? Cleaned up drop down drawing a bit. Drop down respects the theme's rounding. I didn't realize that it wasn't doing that. That's weird. I feel like I would have noticed that. But I guess all right. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Okay. Anyway, the diff. What other? I want to just get to the widgets folder. Oh my God, I work on so many things, guys. All right. Like I was just looking at the file names and they were from the compiler and the game and just the rendering code of the game and these example programs. Okay, original value. All right, let's go there. Here we go. This is gone, but we're going to say this down here right after we make the state table. So we're only initializing the original value the first time. I mean, I already don't exactly like this. Well, no, I guess by definition, everything. I was going to say, what if people map negative numbers, but we don't actually let you map it arbitrarily at all. It's just got to be in line with these. So I guess that's fine. If we make this more versatile, then we need to think about this, but that's fine. Okay. So we're down here. We're deleting the button hack. Rectangle shape, current value state. I don't know why I did this weird button hack. So we do not need that. All right. We delete this other pressed stuff. Background rectangle for the arrow. So we're going to do this. Yeah, so I was doing like two buttons and then just saying, did they press either one? Because it would be the arrow or the thing under it, I guess. All right. And then we're setting the state hash values. Down here. Even if we're not open. So we're removing those from down here. Hash loc and current value. I'm going to explain this. I feel like this could be a better description. I don't know. All right. Oops. So what are we doing here? Changed. So original value and state.original value are different. That's what's different here. So I think what happened is this probably made sense in the original version of the Dropdown, but we reordered how things happen and it no longer made sense. I think. All right. So we're just checking. We're manually updating on the state record. Yeah. All right. Cool. Do we still have turds in there? No, this must be from before. I don't know. Let's make, well, let's just run all this. All right. Cool, cool. Yeah, the original pop-ups were not a callback originally, and that got changed at some point. And I guess this code didn't have a test for it, so we didn't realize that. Yeah, it used to be like right there, right? And this is what would change the value. And so it made sense the way it was. One last line. Okay, well, we gotta... What's going on here? Maybe this is due to that last line. Dude, we gotta update codex view. Whoops. Wait, really? If I do this... Oh, well, that's not a program that will compile. Okay, that doesn't warn, which is why I guess I didn't notice it. It's in examples. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that next because it's easy. My brain all day today has been much like Primeagen yesterday. It's been in like energy conservation mode. So we're just going to put that there. Okay, what is this last line people are talking about? Oh, we need to add the member to the state. Wait. Now I'm confused. Draw, drop down, pop up. Oh, because we're using... Wait, what? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's down here. Why is the... Oh, that's the end of this. I was not reading the diff correctly. All right. Cool. Yeah, we need that, obviously. Did I call Prime low energy brain? If you saw his stream yesterday, you saw low energy brain. Now today, he was playing Battletoads, which of course requires over 9,000 energy, but that's it because it's a different day. How does it feel to be a real developer instead of being a pirate? Listen, all I know is there's some drama going on with pirate software and like World of Warcraft or whatever. That's all I know. Guys, like YouTuber drama and streamer drama is pretty much all a complete waste of everybody's time. Like, why does anyone even care? Like, Prime might still have needed an invite to the Discord server. I have sent him 2 invites to the Discord server. I sent him the standard beta invite, which maybe he just skimmed over and didn't notice the Discord link. And I also sent him another code because somebody told me he didn't get a code. He's in the server. Okay. Finally. Okay. So I think he either that email got spammed or he just didn't see the link because it's a long email. I don't know. All right. Cool. It's problem solved. This is solved. All right. So let's check this in. Get wrecked fixes. Now let's see if the build server is still complaining at me. No, the build is fixed as well, which means Linux is compiling. That's great. Let's do this then. Let's go back to, let's do some smooth brain stuff. Whoops. Bro! Like, as computers get more and more complicated and there's more shit bound to everything, now, like, every small mistaken move that you make, like, messes you up more, right? Every fat finger is worse, like, the more controls you have. Like, it's great to have a lot of keys that don't, key combinations, let's say, that don't actually do anything, you know? All right. UTF-8 to wide now. This is, yeah. So a couple betas, or probably before the December beta Rama. So really, like, 20 betas ago, we probably changed this. Yeah. I want to do some more work on this because we're going to show this off during our LambdaConf appearance. Yeah, so we just get rid of the _ new. That's all. That was like a temporary name thing. Yeah, we won't even put that in the change log. It's too minor. But we could check for, because if we were missing there, I probably did a scan for this in modules. Yeah, so that's just the deprecated function. We could actually remove that now. We'll leave it in a little longer, but examples. Anyone in examples? Aha! D3D example is also doing it. What the fuck? Oh, it's D3D 11 example. No, wrong command. There we go. Oh, come on. I don't know. That was weird. Oh, maybe because it was after a slash that it didn't do it. All right. Yeah. Same warnings. All right. Why no public binary release? Because I just don't want to deal with the large amount of complaints. And I don't like, once you release something publicly, everyone's writing code. And when you want to change things, you inconvenience a great many more people. And so I'd rather like get it right first. Like, for example, all these changes that we made to this stuff would have been a lot worse. Like, I mean, there's respectable people on the internet, but there's also just so many whiny bitches. It's unbelievable. Like super entitled people who will like talk to you like you're shit, even though they've never done anything. Like it's, And I know how it is. I had a little bit of that once upon a time, but people these days have like a lot of that. And like, why should I put up with it? Like, I just don't want any of those people in my life, right? All right. Rewrite UTF-8 calls to eliminate warnings. We will also not put that in the change log. Yeah, I just have like the most important thing right now for me, the number one priority is actually finishing this game that I've been working on way too long and making sure it's good, making sure it's worth the development effort that has gone into it, right? Which it is, but like you don't want to drop the ball at the last minute and like fumble something that should be good. That's extremely important because it's how we will make any more money and all these things, right? And like we just got to close that off so we can do some new projects and stuff. And so I don't want to do something like open myself to a poop rain from internet entitled people while I'm trying to get this game done. Like that's counterproductive. Half to 2025 for game release? No. It is very unlikely that it will be out in 2025, but I'm hoping it's the amount of time past that is very small. Did the Steam counter jump over 2 mils? Yes, it is. It is. I'm going to paste the... Whoops, that's the wrong... Oh, no, they changed the login. Oh, God, I'm getting Steam guarded, dude. It is. Here is the... Oh, screenshot this part. Ah, it's so small. Those are the numbers. So yeah, we're over the 2 million units. And if you count this 3 million includes like all the humble bundles and stuff, right? It's basically these two numbers added together. Which game? This is both Braid plus The Witness, but only on Steam, right? It's a good number. Like, it's pretty cool when millions of people have played stuff that you did, right? I'm in favor of that. Seems like Raid Anniversary has some nice tail going on. Yeah, like I think... it's definitely a significant amount of units. Like, but that's often true, right? Like, so games that are interesting for one reason or another tend to have a tail, whereas games that people don't care about get whatever sales they're going to get, and then they drop very close to zero, right? When we do stuff, it tends to have a good tail, which is great. Big unit energy, yes. Big unit energy. That might be as much as I want to do on stream right now. There's definitely more we could do. But maybe that's... I just need to plow through this screen and a half of people requesting to get in the beta. It's way too much. It's way too much. I'm glad you liked the commentary. It was one of the things that I was really interested in doing in the project. I will say the new game has, not to spoil anything, if you play far enough in the game, it has a little bit of that kind of content itself, but in a very different way. That's all I'm going to say. I'm working on the end game now. I just finished some important things with the final end game on the new game today during my day job. And I think it's going to be good. New game, I mean Sokoban. Yeah, Sokoban game. The end game has rocket launchers? No. The end game does not have rocket launchers. No tanks either. Unless we add some. We could add tanks. We've still got some time. Is a Sokoban game better than The Witness? I don't know. I think it depends on what a particular individual likes. It's just a really, really different game. In terms of scale of the game, the new game is much bigger. There's way more stuff. A lot of the stuff is really good. And there's a way in which you do world exploration. Like in The Witness, you do world exploration. But it's like kind of a small world. In this, it's different because it's like a grid-based world. But it's really complex, the exploration that you can do. And so if you like that, then this might be better, right? What do I think? Like, I can't really compare the games. Firstly, because this one isn't done. And there's still some important things that are going to have to go in. But also just when you're creating something and you've worked so hard on it and you're in the middle of it, you can't see it the same way that you see something that you finished a long time ago, right? So yeah, are there reflexive elements like in the... I don't know what you mean by reflexive elements. What would you need to do to become the voice of an audio dialogue in The Witness 2? Well, first, there would have to be The Witness 2, which doesn't exist. Is it harder than Stephen Sausage Roll? Probably not. We have actually... One thing that we very explicitly decided... I'm starting to lose my voice for some reason. We very explicitly decided that the game was not about being very hard. Except sometimes, right? I mean, there can be optional puzzles that are really big difficulty challenges. But when something is really big... the harder you make it, the more it's a slog that just drains energy, right? And so I was feeling like this sometimes. Like I would sit down to play the game and I'm like, oh, this is just... I'm tired from working or whatever, and I sit down to try to play and I'm like, oh, this is just draining, right? And so we actually try to make it... like it has to be interesting. It has to be that you have to think about the puzzles and then you realize things about them. by observing and thinking, right? And if it's too easy, you don't observe and think. But it is by design not brutally hard. We were very clear about making it not brutally hard. Like here's the thing. It's easy to make a game hard, right? It is easy to make a game hard. Anyone can do it. It's challenging to make a game good without making it hard if it's a puzzle game, right? Can I tell you what to do after solving the Blossom Tree puzzles? I mean, it's a nonlinear island. If you're at that place, you can walk to anywhere on the island. So why are you asking me what to do? If you're stuck there, just walk to any of the 11 other areas. Taiji is hard. I didn't think Taiji was hard. But maybe it's because I worked for so long on The Witness and I recognize everything that it's doing right away. That might be why. Like, it might be easy for me because I grinded on this. Battlezone remake? No. Battlezone? Why would I remake Battlezone? There was a Battlezone remake. That was completely different. It was a Command and Conquer clone, kind of, sort of, not really. You don't know why people gaslight themselves into thinking that hard equals fun. I mean, it's just, there's like a certain lack of independent thinking. It depends if you're talking about players or designers, right? But like, oh, this game is so hard for players, like that's an easy message. Like, oh, if you're hardcore, this game's for you. That's an easy message to communicate to players with. But most people don't want a brutally hard game. I mean, maybe in some genres they do, like a Souls-like or something, right? But in a puzzle game, if you say this is the most brutally hard puzzle game ever made, the audience you're catering to is incredibly small, right? And so it's just not that good of an idea, but some developers, for some reason, think it is a good idea. That's what I mean by lack of independent thought. And I think it's just, if you don't have any better idea about what's interesting, then like, oh, this puzzle is so hard, feels like it's kind of interesting, right? You put him in Doom E4 M1 on Nightmare. Which one's E4? Like, is that Doom? Do you mean Doom 2? Because Doom 1 was only E1, 2, 3, right? E4 was an additional Doom post add-on. Okay. So it was probably made to be extra spicy to begin with, right? I see. You're wondering if I played the game Bambi and have thoughts on its puzzle design philosophy. I tried to play that game, and the interface was so unusable that I gave up after like 10 minutes. It was one of these things where it was like, the designer clearly didn't give a shit about whether the game was playable. Now, that said, I feel like it was a thing where I was playing it on a 4K monitor, and the designer had never run it on a 4K monitor, so like text was the wrong size and being drawn in the wrong place, and it was extra not understandable because of that. But like, dude, if you're not even, I don't know what the problem was, but I played it on stream. Some people here might vaguely remember me trying to play that game, and I just got angry about how little the designer seemed to care about it being a good game. and I quit. Yeah, Snakebird was hard, but not that fun. There are a couple of levels in Snakebird. Like, I'm glad I played Snakebird. I played all the way through it. See, okay, here's a great example of how the one-dimensional thinking doesn't work, right? So Snakebird came out on Steam a long time ago when there weren't as many games, and it just never sold very well, despite having like kind of cute characters. Maybe it looks too much like an iOS shovelware game because of the art style, but like, you know, you can get around that. But it was just really hard and not fun in proportion to how hard it was, right? And I think most people just bounced off it. So later on, they made a thing called Snakebird Primer, which is Snakebird with all these different levels. And Snakebird Primer is just incredibly easy. It's like so easy that there's no point in playing the levels, right? And I guess they said, well, everyone complains that Snakebird's too hard, so that might be why it didn't sell any copies. So let's make Easy Snakebird. And they made Easy Snakebird, and nobody bought that either, right? So I don't know. I should check the sales numbers these days, but they were really low. I mean, after you go on sale for real cheap, a lot. I mean, the unit numbers on both these games could be up by now, but I'm just talking about like when they came out. Oh my God. 206 reviews. Yeah, like very few people played this game. It's $8. It has 206 reviews, right? And it's like, look, thinking about the game along one dimension of easy to hard is like that's just not the right. It's a very restrictive way to think about games, right? And I've tried, dude, for years and years, I gave all these speeches about like, here's how you can think about puzzles as having more than just this difficulty dimension. And like even Valve has done that, right? They've done their version of that. And just if you don't listen to any of that stuff, it's a problem. I still enjoyed original Snakebird, which I bet has sold more copies. Not that many more, but some. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, you've got to have, well, you don't have to, but like, I think with puzzle games, people have played enough reasonable quality puzzle games where thoughts go through their mind when they're playing the puzzle, that if you just give them arbitrary challenges that don't do that, it's going to feel not good. It's like if you go back and try to play one of these like platformers that we played in the 1980s on like the Commodore 64, they're not worth playing now, right? Because you just played so many better platformers. You have an expectation for how interesting a platformer is. And I think that's true for puzzle games now too. And you ignore that at your peril, right? Especially with puzzle games, because it's such a combative dimension. Will Sokoban have a braid style narrative? No. I'm working on the story stuff soon. It's very different from either Braid or The Witness. Anyone here played Fly Wrench? Yeah, I played it. I made a version called Nice Wrench that's on my really old website, where you don't die. Do we have operator overloading? Yes. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Portal 2 was hour for hour the best game you ever played. I disagree. I think Portal 1 was better than Portal 2. Portal 2 had a much bigger budget, obviously, and many more people working on it. But, like, some of the puzzles were good, but a lot of them were not good. And, yeah, I don't know. A lot of them were just like, we're going to throw together these elements that we had about the paint splashies, and we're going to make some puzzles with that. And it's like, really? And it doesn't help that, like, I just didn't like the Wheatley performance at all. And that was a lot of cutscenes in that game. Wheatley was not funny to me at all. I thought Cave Johnson was funny. I thought GLaDOS was usually funny. Wheatley was not funny. In order to enjoy a puzzle game, you got to trust the designer worked hard to make puzzles interesting but not hard. How do you gain that trust? I mean, I've given speeches about that before, but again, the idea is you know that you're communicating with the player from the very beginning. You establish that sense, and you maintain it the whole time. That's how you do it. Can't understand why people say that Portal 1 is so good. I mean, like I think it's better than Portal 2, like I said. But, you know, it's just that it's a game that people remember fondly, right? And so we all, you know, when we play things, we tend to, if there are rough patches or whatever, it's fine. As long as the overall experience is good, we remember it as being good. Like super good or whatever. Portal 1 is a great 30. No, Portal 1's longer than 30 minutes. What are you talking about? Portal 1's like 4 hours or 5 hours. If you don't pre-know the solutions to all the puzzles. Can you put notes on assignments? Not currently. Not currently. We don't have a way to put notes on arbitrary expressions. If we were to do that, we would probably change the way that notes get sent to the metaprogram. Because I don't want to have like an extra field on literally every expression in the compiler, right? So we would have to refactor it so that like notes were a separate thing in the syntax tree. Like the way that we send procedure bodies and whatever, we would send notes. Something like that. Has there ever been an explanation as to why argument types aren't constant in modify blocks? Yeah, this is one of the things that I maybe want to rewrite so that it works better. But basically, when you polymorph a function, it doesn't repolymorph the modify block every time you polymorph the function, right? The modify block is like constant for all polymorphs. And that's something I would like to change. Again, I'm just drowning in stuff to do, so I haven't changed that. Because it is a non-trivial, it's kind of one of those scary changes that could get involved and difficult, right? But I would also like to just do it sometime. Let's put it back on the polymorph modify procs. It's one of those things where I'm like, are we even going to keep modify procs? Or if we add enough other ways to do things, maybe we get rid of them. Like, I don't even use modify procs that much. Like the percentage of my functions that use them is pretty small. Now, maybe if we do more sophisticated macro things or something, you use them more. I don't know. It's just this decision-making process going on. Mark return types as must instead of modify. Inside of, what would that do? I don't understand what that would do. You remember me using that phrase in the intro talks on my YouTube? Doubtful. Citation needed. JavaScript plus AI. Yeah, that's accurate. That's accurate. Have I been with the new year? I've been pretty good. I have a lot to deal with right now. In terms of everything. But it's fine. Things are going well. Like, we're finally on the downhill slope for this game, right? That I've been working on forever, and that's really good. And having that out will be really good. All right. I'm going to sign off, but let's look for somebody doing software and game development who we could raid. And the answer will always be there's nothing good, but Friday Code Day, Becoming Lost, play testing, building a SaaS, making a Tetris clone, that could be a thing. Is that in assembly? What is going on? Bro.
Yes. Load walk.
65 votes. Okay, that's the winning. That's the winning. All right, thanks everyone. See you later.